everyone, how are you guys doing today? I am in my car because I think this is the best place to do your electrolysis, and I'll show you in a minute what my setup looks like here. A lot of you guys did find me through my electrolysis video, and I got a lot of questions from you. So I have created kind of a short list of frequently asked questions, and I'm going to answer them here today while doing, I think this is going to be my fourth session of electrolysis since I shared my very first video. So I've done like 2 treatments in between, and that's about it. That video is about a year and a half old. So you can see that I don't do these treatments very frequently, and you don't have to, and that's the beauty of having your own kit. So let me start off by showing you guys what my setup looks like, okay? So there are you guys, and then on my gear stick I have my electrolysis kit and my tweezers resting there, and then in the cup holder I have my water with salt. And the best thing about the setup is that first of all, you have all this like natural light that's streaming in. Secondly, it has a nice perfectly placed mirror, you know, right here, and it has a built-in light which shows me my chin hair perfectly even when I don't want to, right? Hasn't happened to you guys, but anyway, that's why I feel like if you don't have a nice setup, doing it in your car is a perfect place to do it. Now let me start off by showing you my chin hair. So this is where I have my maximum growth right now, and there's like hair that's growing here, and yeah, so this is what it looks like. If you compare it to the first video, you'll see that I have some reduction in the number of hair that are growing, number of the dark thick hair that are growing, okay, because those are the only ones I treat. I don't treat the finer hair. As you guys know, I bleach my face and I kind of make the finer hair invisible to me as much as possible, and then I go ahead with my electrolysis treatment because I only want to address the very coarse hair, at least at this point of time. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I'm going to start doing my electrolysis. Okay, so let's get started. So there you go. These are all the hair that I took out just today. I would say over 10 or 15. And that's about all that I take out in one treatment because that's all the patients I have. This treatment does take some time, but money-wise and even time-wise, I think it's worth it. Okay, so let's get into the question. All the questions can be found in the description box below. So, you know, if your question is not included, then just go ahead and leave a comment and I'll try to answer it in one of the future videos. All right, so the very first question is, you have been using this device for 10 years and you still need it? Question mark. Well, I guess this viewer kind of missed the first thing that I said, that I have owned this device for almost 10 years. I did my first treatment, I'm trying to remember, maybe 8 years ago, and it was a little mole on the side, and as you can see there is none right now because the treatment worked. It was a mole that was kind of growing out little hair, and I treated that and that was all gone, so I knew that it worked. But then I didn't need to use it until recently, okay, until I got pregnant with my kids. With pregnancy came changing hormones, and with those came some chin hair that I wanted to treat, which I tried to bleach initially, but the kind of thicker hairs don't really bleach, they just stay there. And that's why I decided to whip out my device again and started using it again, and that's when I shared it with you guys. Okay, so I haven't done that many treatments on my chin, so that's why I haven't completely eliminated my chin hair. I think it is very possible to get rid of all the thick hair completely, just like I did with my mole, because all the hair that were growing out of here, including the little pigmentation that was formed, you know, the little mole, was because of the extra keratin in the roots of those hair that were growing out. So that's all gone. Okay, so moving on, the next question was, can you tweeze or shave in between the treatments? Of course, yes, that's what I've been doing. You know, the hair grow out and I'm not immune to a little yeah, I'm not very regular with my treatments, okay? And as I mentioned, this is just my fourth one since I started doing my chin hair. Now, the third question was quite frequent. It was, how many treatments do I need to get rid of my hair, or how long before the hair stop growing completely? Now, each of the hair follicles I think can grow up to 3 hair. That's what I think is the standard. So each of them you need to treat separately, and they grow not necessarily at the same time. So you need to treat them independently when they are in their growing phase. So you can say that, usually one follicle can need up to 3 treatments to be completely hair free. And then from that point on, it depends on how many of your hair follicles are growing those thick hair. I personally do not treat very fine hair. I bleach them, as I mentioned. And if they're bleachable, I don't bother treating them with this device. The next question is that the professional electrolysis treatment I did kept the probe in for only a short time. Why do I keep it in longer? That's true. When I did the professional electrolysis treatment, the lady, she just went in with a tweezer and the probe and just went like beep, pluck, beep, pluck, beep, pluck. And when she did that, I could definitely feel kind of the plucking motion, that the hair wasn't just sliding out, it was being plucked out. And if that's the case, I think that the hair root is not really dead. If the hair is completely dead, I can actually just slide it out with my fingers alone without having to tug on it. Here, I was pretty much able to just pull it out with my finger. It just slides out, and if it slides out smoothly, that means kind of the root is completely dead. I did about 4 treatments, and that was right after my older one was born. And I honestly didn't see any decrease in the growth of hair at the time, and that could be why, because she was doing it so fast, or it just could be because that particular lady who I was going to wasn't so good, because $45 is kind of on the lower end of what treatments usually cost. So it just could be that, but for me personally, that wasn't very efficient, because I had to go there, wait there, get the treatment done, which was only 10 minutes, and then come back. And the whole process is about the same time that it takes me to do the treatment at home. All right. Next question. How often do I need to change the needles? Okay, so the needle I'm using currently is the one, I don't know if you can see it. I don't think you can see it. Okay. Is the one that came with the device. This one came already inserted, and there is an additional needle, which sits here in the device. And I am still using the same needle. I must have done I would say about 8 to 10 treatments so far, including my mole and my chin. I haven't felt the need to change the needle. The needle does have a natural bend in it. You can kind of slightly straighten it out with your nail. I wouldn't recommend it, because you can actually end up turning it more when you're trying to do that. I just work with the curve, like I've turned my hand in a way that now the bent part, like the tip, is kind of perpendicular to my skin and goes in straight, and I use it that way. But I haven't needed to change the needle. The needle is stainless steel. Unless you actually like completely bend it or break it, you should not need to change it. That's just my thought. Sanitize it with some alcohol, let it dry out completely after every use, but that's pretty much all I have done so far. What replacement needles do I need, or where do I find the needles? I found some links on Amazon. I'll put them in the description box below, and that's where you can buy the needles from. I don't know of any local supply stores who sell them, because I purchased my machine on Amazon. If I ever need needles, I'm gonna buy them off of Amazon. Is this better, or the Pro Electrolysis better? So as I mentioned, the Pro Electrolysis that I tried personally didn't work for me. It was very expensive. Spent about, how much would it be for 4 treatments? $180, and didn't see results. This device at the time was $30. Now it's, I think, $40. So it's totally worth the cost. And I honestly don't like to go to salons and wait. It drives me nuts. So for me personally, it's worth it. Though I would say, for doing like the really under the chin hair, I wish there was someone who would do them for me. It's not very easy. I don't always get in the right spot, and yeah, it's not fun. It's very tedious. So I wish there was actually someone who I could go to who would do those hair for me. Is there a sharper, better machine? Not that I know of. I think when I first purchased my device, there was an option for coarser hair and finer hair. And I think I purchased the device for coarser hair. And recently when I looked up, I could only see one, so I'm gonna say no. On fine hair, the needle kept on going backwards. How to fix this issue? So I personally, as I mentioned, don't try to use this device on very, very fine hair. You can, but I think it's kind of pointless if the hair are not really seen from a distance. I'm not bothered by them and it hurts and I don't want to torture myself. If it's going backwards, that means I'm guessing it's either bending or something, or if it's getting pushed back in, then either the needle is not inserted correctly or something. So you might want to kind of dismantle your device, make sure that the needle is installed correctly, and then try to use it. I personally would recommend that before you turn the current on, just practice inserting the needle into your pores and taking it out. That brings us to actually a next question too, like, does the needle actually just slide in or does it poke in? It does not break your skin, it just slides in and out. If you do it without passing the current, you'll see that there is no damage to your skin. The needle just kind of goes in and comes out, and you might need to practice it a few times. As I mentioned, you have to have a good mirror and good light to do this procedure so that you can see where the needle is going. I have gone kind of at random spots when I was doing my double chin hair because I couldn't really see where I was going. So practice it a few times without passing the current. That way you don't damage your skin. And then you turn the current on and then go in and out. That should save you some of the agony. Does your skin scab and how long does it take for it to clear up? My skin does scab. You might see kind of, what can I say, slight burn marks where the needle was inserted and when I was kind of passing the current and taking the needle in and out. But it's very minuscule, and for me those scabs fall off in like 2 or 3 days. Even when they're there, they're not really seen because they're kind of like under, they're not like in the front for me, which is, I guess, lucky. If it's kind of like on the cheek or on the chin, like this one is on the chin, but it's very minuscule, it doesn't bother me, it falls off very quickly for me. If you have a sensitive skin, I would recommend putting a good antiseptic over those areas after you're done with the treatment. That could help heal them faster. Okay, next question is, would it work on beard and mustache, and can it be used on men's beard? It can be used on pretty much any hair. You can use it on your beard, mustache, your leg hair, armpit hair. I am very sensitive everywhere except my chin. I cannot use it on my mustache hair. I have slight bit of upper lip, as they call it in India. I am very scared to use it there. I have used it there. I think I did share one video where I used it on my upper lip and it turns red. It really hurts me. Somehow the chin doesn't bother me and I can continue doing it there. Never tried it in my armpit. Don't have the guts to try it in my armpits. Legs, I don't think I can contort in a good enough position to try it on my legs, and I also find it unnecessary. I have a little epilator and I have been using that. So yeah, I don't personally use it, but you can definitely use it on any parts of the body wherever you have coarse hair. Again, if it's fine, I would say leave it alone. Yeah, so those are all the questions I got from you guys. If there are any questions I didn't answer, please leave them in the comments below and I'll try to answer them in a future video. If you haven't seen my initial video, I'll link it in the description box as well. So if you want to see me do the actual procedure, you can see it there. I have tips in that video for you to do it in the house. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, don't forget to give it a giant thumbs up. Thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Oh, that's so cute. I love hummingbirds. And the needle, and she's going beep, tuck, beep, top, beep,